Hey guys, good morning. How are you doing? And I appreciate everybody joining in on this wonderful adventure. Today we are going to do a real quick stream, a Let's Play version of Werewolf, Heart of the Forest. This is part of the Werewolf Apocalypse series. I really haven't played any of those. I've seen a couple of them, you know, through various other streams or watching on YouTube and different things. But we're going to do a live stream of this today. Hey, I appreciate everybody who has been with me since the beginning on Twitch. And as I start rebranding and moving things over to YouTube, appreciate all the love and support. So here we go. And we are going to get into a little bit of Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. I don't know if this has cutscenes or anything like that, but if it does, then I will kind of bugger out when those happen. I don't know if this is gonna read things for me if I have to read them. I see eyes. There's eyes. Everybody's watching me. I'm getting creepy vibes. Of course, this is a werewolf. Oh, initially I see rage, willpower, health, June 20th in the morning. This game is about rage and how it will help us do things that need to be done as well as things that we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Great, I'm always angry. I'm okay with anger when it's useful. Well, I prefer to think before I act. Anger can be useful. Ooh. So you're the critical and analytical type. That's okay. There's no right path here. Just your delusions. Oh, your decisions and consequences. Let's start already. We have the story to tell. I get it. I get it. My decisions need to be fair and just. Let's just follow the path and see where it takes us. Ah. I didn't realize I was going for a job interview and I got this psychological profile I got to do. Let's just start already. Inspiring. I got a 1 out of that. Woods are full of stars. The flicker, come closer, run away. They want me to chase them, to play hide and seek. I hunt, I observe. I hide. I'm gonna hunt. Brave. Oh man. I'm brave and analytical. The woods are full of stars. They flicker, come closer. Oh, so I'm making a story as we go along. They dance around the tree trunks, float up on the gusts of winds, and shiver through the branches, disappear among the leaves. I let out a howl, eager to run with them. I want everyone to know I'm here. Then they bunch up and fly towards me like an arrow, rushing down. They're soon upon me, but just before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear and the dark of night returns. Balanced. In the darkness, I feel the tangled roots of stories, keeping the forest alive. And I hear the spirits asking me to judge them. I open my eyes. So I think based upon your initial couple of answers, the story might move a little differently, or you might open up with different attributes. And then I wake up. Cold and alone, confused, and I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay to such an extent that it's hard to breathe. The smell fascinates me. I recognize this forest. Why am I here? Smell fascinates me. Smell both fascinates and is repulsive. It's everywhere. The memory stirs deep in my mind. Something elusive from my earliest... I didn't realize I was going to be reading like for an hour. That's alright. The tree trunks wrapped tightly in a dark-leaved ivy are covered in ripples and lichen where the vines have taken hold. The thorny, leafless brushes at their base are overrun with nettles. The fungi radiate with a ghoulish, sticky green light. Dark, sponge-like mushrooms cling to fallen trees. I try to breathe. I'm cold. Something's rotten. I know it's summer, but I feel cold. Where are my clothes? I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I'm naked. A sticky, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I can feel it on my face and my hair. Blood? What's happening? I have no idea what's happening, but stories start forming in my mind. Someone has drawn strange symbols on my skin, and the drawing blood, was it me? Was there a severed head right in front of me? Some choices are hard to make, and they strain your willpower. I wince and I touch it, or I'm gonna be sick. So either willpower or rage. Ooh, that takes away a willpower. Overwhelming my... I'm only down to 1. I like this artwork here. Overwhelming my disgust, I gently touch its wet hair and watch as the head topples over. Balanced. The face is contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth opens as though the heads were still struggling for air. I balk because I recognize who it is, and then the eyes open in the darkness. The enemy? Or who is it? Well, I just said I recognized who it was. It's the enemy. I can see their silhouettes. Shades of jet black against the darkness. They reek of metal and acid and oil and money. Massive creatures with some mandibles, some with spidery legs. Their faceted eyes burn like small industrial furnaces. I look at them and something wakes inside my chest. Cold fury or panic? Cold fury. Ooh, I went down on an analytical. I think that was up to 3 earlier. Their entire existence is wrong, an abomination to the natural order. They have been judged and found lacking. I straighten up, ready to carry out my sentence. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the Force wants from me. And then I wake up. I thought I already woke up again. Ooh, I like the scene change. How the sky goes over the moon. The arrival. Let's start the chapter. Maria! Maria! Maria, wake up! I jerked upright, irritated. My neck was stiff. Am I Maria? Discomfort through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. High rage. I pushed her away. Or willpower. Minus a willpower. What happened? No. Rage. Anya now becomes cautious. Without a second thought, I pushed her away, adrenaline sweeping through me. When your rage is high, you may say and do things you later regret. What's wrong with you? She recoiled, looking hurt and scared. It was a while before she said anything. You were screaming. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there. I slowly unclenched my fist. I looked outside. I was glad I wasn't alone. Now look outside. Where are we? I must have bitten my lip, I thought, as I ran my tongue over my teeth. The forest outside and the window was watching me. The girl next door to me. The girl next door. I got that on my brain. The girl next to me shook her head. Thank God we're almost here. Her name was Anya. We had met a couple weeks earlier on the orientation day. Maybe she was the girl next door to me. She was from Norway. Maybe she was. A tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her long hair in braids. That's too stereotypical. Somehow I had managed to talk her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. We were there to study medicine. Anya's cautious. She was having second thoughts. We'd both come to Poland for the same reason, to study medicine It was less expensive here, and we both received government scholarships. So did you want to become a doctor, or she had asked when we first met. It wasn't my decision. I was still searching. Or the human body is Whoa, yeah, there we go. Human body is fascinating. Analytical goes back up. The game tracks your decisions on how Maia approaches problems. They will accumulate and gradually reveal what kind of person she is deep in her heart. The story changes to reflect Maia's personality. The way the human body works is fascinating, with all its organs, interconnections, and the complicated chemical reactions. I couldn't see myself as a doctor, though, treating people day in, day out, rushing to help them. I wanted to be a lab researcher or a coroner. Anyway, I had found a scholarship. That's why Anya and I were on a bus to Białowieża, a small village in northeastern Poland near the border with Belarus. It was famous in its national park, the very last European bison, and according to a quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and the local Belarusian community. Anya is cautious. She was having second thoughts. Anya reached into her backpack and took out an apple. She turned away from me and bit into the fruit. I reached into my bag, fished out a bunch of kiełbasy, dried meaty sausages. They were so much better than the original Polish ones back in the U.S. Anya's cautious. Anya's still awful cautious of me ever since all I did, she was picking on me. She wakes me up and I push her away. Now she's like freaked out on me. She was the one who shook me. Alright. Anya still looked like she regretted meeting me. People often did, actually. Most people don't like me. Girl, you're a lot to handle, she said after a lengthy silence. I'm not sure if I have the bandwidth for so much drama in my life. Yeah, you do. This trip was my idea. Remind me, why are we here again? She asked with her arms crossed. Hey, that's a good question. Why were we there? The most honest answer would have been because I have been dreaming about the forest in Białowieża, whatever it is, since I can remember. But people didn't understand when I said things like that. I looked her in the eyes and said, "You are the most beautiful woman." No, I looked her in the eyes. I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. I told her as much as I could, or I'm going to lose my one willpower and I tell her everything. I can't lose the only willpower I have. I kept it simple so I ain't going to freak her out, because she already freaking out on me. I'm looking for my roots. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was from there. None of my relatives spoke about it, though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in life. Strange dreams that plagued me. Half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I had heard from before my mom took me. Ran away and cut off all contact with my dad and his family. Kind of waited for her to respond. Anya fell silent for a moment. She's still cautious. But she still looked like she regretted coming with me. I think we should split up for a while, she finally said. I already have a list of places I want to see. I'd just slow you down anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much a nice way to say F off. And that was precisely why I needed to do something anyway, anything about my future, that dang forest, and my weird family. I had a clear goal in mind. I wasn't there by mistake. I'd planned this trip for months, and with a clear goal in mind, I had to see the face of the forest. I had to learn the truth about my roots. I had to figure out my destiny. Come on, let's face the forest. Ba, 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 da. Let's face the music. All right. My dreams, my grandfather's stories, the fact my family was far from here, was from there. There are just too many coincidences. The forest wanted something from me, and it was time to find out. I never was one to sit idly by as things happened to me. Welcome home? Anya took her luggage and disappeared as soon as we got off, leaving me at the deserted bus stop. Anya has left me. Woo, alright. So, maybe I should have done something a little differently and she would have stayed with me. They do look like a cute couple. So, I wonder if I can change characters. June 20th, this is in the morning. Maria Borodich, age 24, profession student, nationality American. These are all new. Brave, inspiring, analytical. Spiritual cunning, I don't get any of that. Mind and body, condition healthy, goal mystery. Understand what connects you to the forest, pursue to regain willpower. Okay, so as I pursue the mystery goal, then I could get some more willpower. Okay, that's good to know. Alright, Poland looked like an overexposed photo of a village from the contrast turned all the way up. The sun wasn't just shining, it was shouting at the earth and everything. The trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences seemed weathered. Everything except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkness of links. Oh, the dark, I'm sorry. Whoa, back up. Back up the bus. Beep, beep. Everything except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks. And then they moved. For a second, I could have sworn they moved. But then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in its tracks. I decided to ignore it. I watched it with suspicion. I tried to pet the cute little kitty. Here, kitty. I said, squatting and reaching upward towards the sky. High rage. In a flash, it swatted my hand away with its paw, drawing a few drops of blood. I yelped. I stood up, looked around. A friend was supposed to pick us up from the bus stop, but he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. For a moment, I was tempted to just get out of the sun and worry about my missing friend later. High rage, I stormed off, but the meeting was just too important. His name was Barack Obama. Oh, no. His name was Bartek. I had met him online, on Craigslist, researching Białowieża. The man knew everything there was to know about the local history. I asked him to look around for local stories about the forest. I hoped he had found something. So I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And the creepy cat waited with me. Bartek was 15 minutes late, flustered, apologetic. It was his dad's company. He explained while catching his breath he had to help him out with some paperwork. With a high rage, I really don't care. Or I'm gonna be a mouse, and I didn't say anything. I took my time at him. It was the first time we'd met in real life. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and had freckles all over his face. Come on, I'll take you to your place. His accent was broad, very Eastern European. I flooded him with questions. Anya would have liked him. I caught him looking at me. Yeah, buddy, you're looking at me. He kept glancing at me out of the corner of his eye. When I caught his gaze, I could swear he looked scared. He walked along the street, the only street in the village. We walked along the only street in the village, slowly making our way towards the outskirts. The trees were growing denser, their scent becoming richer and more pronounced. I took in a deep breath. A goal of the forest. So, did you find out anything about me in the forest, I asked? Bartek shook his head. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry. He was avoiding my eyes. A trickle of sweat ran down his temple. High rage. He was lying straight to my face. What the F? Man. I threw my arms in the air. You wrote to me a few days ago and said you had something, but you just clammed up. You know what you think you should drop it? I stopped. High rage. That was the final straw. I unleashed all my charm, or I felt hurt. No! I drove all this way to learn about this place. You researched it. You told me you had something. And now you're telling me you ain't got nothing? I don't believe you. This is the final straw. I waited here, and you were late. I turned to Bartek, grabbed his shirt, pushed him hard against the fence. I'd always been strong, and anger made me even stronger. He lost his first contact with his feet lost contact with the ground. I screamed in his face. If I lose willpower, then I come to my senses. No, I'm going to scream in his face. I traveled 300 miles in an effing bus without effing AC. I shot a few flecks of spit hitting his chin. Oh, great. Now he's going to accost me or say that, I'm like spreading a virus on him. I shouted a few flecks of spit hitting his chin. I did it because you said you found something. My arms got tired and I dropped him. Why would I politely ask again? So, would you kindly tell me what you found? Bartek scrambled to his feet, pale and terrified. Well, with the back of his hand. I did ask. I started with the old people here. I told them that my friend from the States was looking for her roots and she wanted to know about the place her family came from. Well, you know the drill. At first, people were very, receptive. I waited for the other shoe to drop. And then I mentioned your name. He shakes his head. I urged him to continue. I needed a moment to calm down. That's going to be a negative rage. No, buddy. Keep going. Tell me more of this. Bartek, no dramatic pauses, please. The tension is killing me. Well, one of the old men here told me to go to hell. The other one spat on the ground, and his wife crossed herself. For a moment, he looked younger and smaller. And then my own grandmother told me to stop asking. She said something else as well. I tensed up. What? I asked. She told me to pray for you. Suddenly, the sweet golden afternoon wasn't so sweet and golden anymore. High rage, I was furious. That piqued my interest. Okay, I'm good with that one. I knew there was something weird and twisted connecting me and my family to this forest. I could feel a shiver run down my spine. He walked in silence, but my mind was an overdrive. People didn't want to talk, and that could only mean one thing. Bada bing! I finally got another willpower! I was on the right track. Progressed the goal of the mystery. My pulse quickened, I tensed up like a hound that smelled blood, and I was on the right track. Every time you learn to do something significant that brings you closer to your goal, you regain some willpower. Cool. Alright guys, so now we're at the bed and breakfast. I do appreciate y'all joining me in for this real quick stream. I just wanted to kind of get a brief overview of this game. I do like the story. It's not really a game that style that I've kind of gotten into. Overall, it kind of says that the playthrough time is about 4 hours on this, so I may do a future streaming where I go ahead and follow along with the rest of the story. But it's retail now for $15 on Steam. It is part of the Humble Bundle this month. That is the reason why I picked it up and why I'm streaming this. So appreciate you all watching, and hopefully this has helped you to understand the game, whether or not if you want it or something along those lines. Alright, but we may do this in the future as far as a whole stream of the storyline. Alright, appreciate you, and you all have a most wonderful day. Make sure you click the follow and subscribe.